Sony is absolutely on fire. A couple of weeks ago, I did a video on FX30. You guys absolutely loved it. And recently, they just announced Sony A7R V. Luckily, and thanks to Jason Morris, I got my hands on this brand new footage. I'm gonna be pushing the hell out of it. We're gonna put it through its paces. And guys, on this channel, we don't believe in benchmarks. We don't believe in useless information. So the stuff you're gonna learn here is going to be based around real world scenario and practices that you can apply to your projects right away. The look is gonna consist of DaVinci color management. It's gonna be a strong look with qualifiers, HSL curves, and tons of Resolve OFX. And we recently did a survey. Majority of you, regardless of the skill set, are struggling with shot matching, skin tones, balancing, and working with 8-bit footage. So I created a 1-hour-long free training that covers all of that. Plus, we'll wrap up the training with an extensive Q&A, and you'll also get a link to download the practice footage, power grades, and some of my personal LUTs. So do not forget to check out the training. Link is going to be in the description. So let's look at the key features about this camera. But before we even get into that, I just want to say that this line is mostly for photography, okay? Sony doesn't market A7R series as a video camera, but they are closing the gap. They're turning these cameras into beast of a hybrid machine. And let's look at some of those features. This camera is capable of shooting 8K 24 frames per second or 4K in 60 frames per second in full frame. It also allows 422 10-bit internally, and Sony is claiming about 15 stops of dynamic range. And above all, it allows 16-bit of RAW through an external recorder. So these specs are absolutely ludicrous. I mean, I'm coming from what was it, DVX 100 and Panasonic HVX 200. If you know what I'm talking about, drop a comment below. And before we jump into the tutorial, I want to take a second and thank Jason Morris for hooking me up with this footage. You guys have to check out his channel. It's very different than my content. I'm all about post-production. He's all about production. If you want to learn about pro techniques when it comes to shooting, his channel is the one to follow. Link is going to be in the description. Also check out his Instagram channel. He's putting out tons of content behind the scenes and everything in between on there. So give him all the follows. And on that note, let's roll the intro. All right, so now we're in Resolve, and once again, just want to give a huge shout out to Jason Morris for hooking me up with this footage. Brother, absolutely love it. Now, we're going to look at the project settings real quick, and then we're going to get going, okay? So under color management, I have my color science left as is, which is DaVinci YRGB. My timeline is set to DaVinci Wide Gamut and Intermediate, and that's just to get the most out of my image. If I put this to Rec. 709, I'm going to be choking my timeline on the top end to about 6 stops of dynamic range, and that is just not good at all. The output, although, is set to Rec. 709 Gamma 2.4 because it's going to be going on the web, and if it's shown on TV, Rec. 709 Gamma 2.4 is what we need, okay? And that said, let's just jump out, and this is basically parked on my hero frame, but let's play out the shot. So that's what we got shot on Sony A7R V. Haven't messed around with it, so don't know what to expect, but when I look at the waveform, Jason shoots stuff really well, and he did the same thing here. He shoots based on the rule ETTR, exposed to the right, making sure everything is brighter than it's supposed to be. And then that way, when the image comes in for finishing, we can pull it down a stop or something and then get the cleanest image possible. Our blacks could be really clean, and that's what you're going to see with this shot. And I'm hoping and assuming that that's what we're going to see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just set up a node tree, and this is going to be a 9-node based node tree. Okay, so the top 2, let's leave them there, and then I'm just trying to work it in my head how everything is going to go. So let's just do this. So the first one is going to be our color space transform. We're going to transform this from log to Rec. 709. So I'm going to select Sony S Gamut 3 Cine, and then here S-Log 3. And then we're going to select DaVinci Wide Gamut here and DaVinci Intermediate here, because we want to keep it in the DaVinci sandwich. So when I make changes to any of my nodes, they're going to be working in that wide color science, wide color gamut. And then here, I'm going to drop in color space transform. And since we're outputting DaVinci Wide Gamut, we're going to input DaVinci Wide Gamut here. And we're going to select Rec 709 and then Gamma 2.4 because that's what our output is. So now it's properly converted to Rec 709 and everything is looking really good. I'm already impressed by the highlights, how everything is just contained. We can see it on the waveform. And I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Sony has come a long way with their color science, okay? So the new cameras are just putting out fire straight out of the box. And now, guys, if you want to learn more about the proper node tree structure and why I do what I do, then make sure to check out the free training. Link is in the description. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Option and actually I'm going to hold Command actually and just move this node over. And the reason why I did that is because it should have been the last node. I don't know why I put it here. So this is going to be our last node. We're going to call it ODT, Output Device Transform, and we're going to call this Input Device Transform. Okay, so everything is converted properly. And if I take you here to my remote grading, I've already dropped in my Rec 709 conversion here, and that's going to be our reference point. So when we make changes to our grade here, we're going to constantly go back and look at this to see how far we've come from Rec 709. Now, the look that I'm thinking about for this one is the typical cliche bleach bypass sort of push look, high contrast. You know, she's at the gym working out, and that's sort of like a rugged feel to this look with our own throw on it, right? And obviously, we're not using any LUTs or anything, so we're going to be building that look from scratch. First thing that I want to do right here, this is going to be my balance. And what I want to do is just balance out my shot. I just feel like there's some yellow and red in my shot that I want to pull out to make it more balanced. And then it might be just a little bit too hot, so maybe bring the exposure down. So I'm going to start off with my printer lights and my primaries right here. And I'm going to start pulling that warmth out, okay? I'm just looking at her outfit right now and just making sure that that is looking black, right? So that is looking proper, how it should. And this is looking pretty good. And you can even see it down here in my waveform, before and after, like how we're just really, really dialing it in. So it's coming together, right? Like it's pretty good. Maybe I can do a little bit of that. This is looking pretty good. So I'm happy here. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to go under my HDR palette. I'm going to use my global offset, which works like stops on your camera. And I'm going to drop it down about half a stop. So 0.50. And that puts everything where I like it. The skin tones are looking really good. I mean, just look at the skin tones. Really good. And this is the skin indicator right here. So if I hover over here, like see like how we're nailing the skin tones right there. And then this was before. So if I hover over, see like how much it's more on the yellow side. And then after, it's really, really good. Okay, so it's working. Our balance is good. We can leave that there. Now I'm going to move here to my look node. Let's just leave the look node right here. And I'm going to call it look. Okay. And then what I want to do here is I want to go under my contrast. And I'm going to pop that open so you guys can see what's happening. Let's make it bigger. So when we work on it, you guys can just really see what we're doing. And then I'm going to pull that down so you guys can see my scopes as well. So what I'm going to do here is instead of using YRGB in my custom curves, I'm going to break that chain. And let's just adjust the curve width first, and then I'm going to save it. And then I'll show you the other way around. So if I were to just, let's just say, create a S-curve like something like this, okay? Something like that. And then go ahead and save that version. So now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to break that link. I'm going to go to individual channels and just basically reset them, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing with my green channel. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my blue channel. And as soon as we do that, now if I bring in my other version, you can see how much more saturated that was. So look at the graph here, my vector scope, and then this is after, this is before, this is after. So that's what I'm talking about. We want to use just our Y channel to create this very extreme contrast, but not necessarily add more saturation, okay? And that helps our look that we're going after. So what I'm gonna do is take this point and like kind of bring it in, and then grab my highlights and kind of keep cranking it. So let me see. Okay, and then this is our Rec 709, and then this is where we are. So already we're creating a very extreme, very pushed look, and I like it. Can we benefit with like creating one more point? Let me just see. Let's do before, let's do after. I kind of like what it does, so I'm gonna leave it in. I just feel like it lifts the midtones a little bit, and that's okay because we're gonna be doing more things to kind of crunch this look a bit more. So this is good. So this is where we're at right now. Now what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of cyan to my highlights, and then I want to even out my blacks, okay? So I'm going to go in my gain. I'm going to come out of here. I'm going to go in my gain, and I'm just going to add a little bit of that cyan that I was talking about. And then I'm going to go in my lift, and I'm going to even out my blacks. So even something like that, okay? And now one thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go under my curves. I'm gonna go under my hue versus hue. I'm gonna take my yellow and just keep your eyes right here. And I'm gonna swing it until we start to add a little bit more red into our yellows. And now her skin looks a lot better. Okay? And this is where I'm gonna leave it. One more thing that we can try in our look node is grab my saturation and start pulling it back even more, and then bring it in, okay? And how far do we want to go? So I'm just gonna leave it somewhere around here. I think it looks pretty good. So guys, it's a pretty push look, okay? Once again, our Rec 709, and then this is the look that we're creating, all right? Now, what I want to do in this node is I'm going to pull her skin. All right, so I'm just gonna do this and then hit Shift H to see what we've selected. And let's go ahead and refine this. And then I'm gonna pull in the saturation to get rid of any of those spots. Do we wanna pull back? Yes, we do. This is good. And then, okay, this is good. And then do we want to pull in more saturation? We can't. So I'm just gonna leave that there. And luminance, we don't want to mess with, so we want to leave the luminance there. I'm gonna go in and denoise it. So I'm gonna pull this up so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna go under my denoise and I'm gonna crank it up. Okay. And I'm gonna go under my blur and I'm just gonna blur it out a little bit, something like this. And I'm gonna come out of here. So now we can garbage mat it, right, just to the skin, which I think we should, just to restrict the overall effect of it. So just a very loose garbage mat, something like this, okay? So now we're just selecting this area. The back gets picked, no big deal, okay? And then here, what I want to do is I want to go under my gamma and just give her skin a little bit more love. Okay, just that, just this much, nothing else, just this much love, and that's about it. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep my look right here in this node. We're gonna try to add glow, and we're gonna see what it does. If it doesn't do much, we're just not gonna use it. Okay, so let's throw in glow here, and I'm gonna change that to soft light. I'm gonna grab my shine threshold and I'm gonna start pushing it back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go under my gain and pull this down a little bit, okay? Something like that. And now let's take that shine threshold and keep opening it. So you can do a couple of things here, okay? So it's adding a little bit of color, and we can go under saturation and completely kill the color, and then it's just the blooming effect that it's adding. And I like that. I feel like, once again, it's just maximizing on that pushed look that we're going for. So this is our Rec 709, and then this is our look. It is pushed. Yes, a lot of people could wonder, like, dude, are we getting too much? Are we going too far with it? And if that's the concern, we can go under our global blend and we can pull it back to something like this, right? So now we're just kind of meeting somewhat in the middle, okay? We're giving the glow 3/4, but still taking some of the sting out. So this is not bad at all. What else can we do? I want to go in my highlights and I want to see what kind of highlight recovery we can do with this camera. So I'm going to go under here in my luminance. I'm going to add a little bit of softness, something like this. I'm going to go hit Shift H and then start pulling that in. So we only select just the highlights, highlighted areas, come out, go under my gain, pull it down, not too much. So something like this. And if I do before and after, we're able to pull back quite a bit. You can see right here, we're actually bringing back information. Now, if I go further, I can pull in more information, but I think that's going to start to look a little fake or just too pushed. So I like keeping it around 0.90, and even like what it does on the highlights up here, I like it. So that's all I'm going to do. And we were able to like get this information back. This is pretty crazy because this is log. And then this is what we're doing. So it is very impressive how much information you can pull back. I'm impressed. And now what I want to do is I want to go, actually, I just realized that we should have had one more node here, which is going to be my grain. And then I'm just going to drop in the film grain, 35 millimeter, 400T. And if I punch in here and do before, okay, and then after. So you can see that it's doing quite a bit, and it's just, it's adding to that gritty look that we're trying to create, okay? So this is my skin. We didn't do anything with this for now, and then this is going to be my halation. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Resolve's halation, but I'm gonna keep it level playing field. So we're just gonna use this, whatever is available inside Resolve. So a couple of things that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go under reduce highlights and completely nuke it. Okay, just go all the way. And then another thing that I wanna do is I wanna click on fine tune relative spread. And I wanna take my green and I wanna pull it back to something like that. Now I want to take my strength and I wanna start pulling back on that, okay? And that's all I'm going to do. So it still looks pretty good because if I do before and after, you see it a little bit here, right? And you see it a little bit here. So it still has like believable effect, but it's a lot more controlled. And then guys, look at this. This is our Rec 709. This is our log. This is our Rec 709. And then this is the look that we ended up with. If somebody thinks that, hey, it's too crushed, it's too dark or anything like that, let's look at some of the examples of like gritty looks, right? So like even something like that. This is from Euphoria. And then just check out this look, what's going on. So our look is not even close to being this pushed. Okay, and I just wanted to show you these examples for you to like really see how pushed these looks are, right? Like look at the clothing. Okay, and if we were to go in, if we just actually look at pushed looks, I mean, look at this. Okay, so they're really pushed. Like the detail in the blacks is completely gone. And we can look at some more examples. Look at this. We can't see anything. We can't make out what's happening there. Look at this shot right here. Even the skin tones, some people will freak out, but that's the look that they went for. Look at this shot right here, right? So all of these shots, like even something like this, like there's barely any information there. And just want to, you know, the hair, we can't make out any information in there. And we can even see like all of this is gone. It's crushed, right? So anything that's irrelevant, like over here, we don't necessarily need to see much. It doesn't matter. What we need to see, that's where our eye is going with the grade that we created. So if I were to kill everything and start with our conversion, so that's what we did first, Then I balanced my image, dropped about half a stop, and then went straight into my look. Most of the heavy lifting happened in my look, then went and pulled out her skin. And again, that was a good test for this camera, how much it can, we can push and pull. And then we added glow, and that really helped us out. I was extremely impressed with like how much highlights we were able to pull back. We can even see it right here. And then we added some texture, halation and grain. And this is what we got. Now, one thing that we can do is I can go back in my saturation and pull it back even more, okay? And then start pulling in some of the saturation. And we can just really leave the image to something like that. So I pulled back the saturation quite a bit. And I feel like I like that more because really the only color is in the skin, a little bit on the bench, but then the rest is just like really fading away. And that's what we were going for, okay? So that is that push look, you know, that you would see, but done right. So now let's check out the final look in full screen. So considering that this is not even Sony's video camera, what we saw is absolutely incredible. I'm genuinely considering to pre-ordering one because I just feel like right now I'm shooting a video with A7 IV, but I personally feel like this might be a better bang for the buck, especially because I do a lot of photography, like watch photography and stuff, and having 61 megapixels is just an ultimate game changer. And messing around with 8K and 24 frames per second would also be a lot of fun. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Like, drop a comment below, share your thoughts. I just want to hear from you. If there's anything that I missed, let me know in the comment section below. And also, if you have any other camera suggestions, because I feel like a lot of you really enjoy this series, let me know. And I'm gonna put together a list and then go through one by one. And guys, do not forget to check out the free training. I'm telling you, there's so much information jam-packed in there. The link is gonna be in the description below, so check it out. And if you enjoyed this video, then do me a favor, smash the like button. It will mean the world to me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you guys in the next video.